welcome to today's episode of the Marriage Corner Show. I am Vionah Githinji, and on today's episode, we're going to do it a little bit differently because today we're having police officers from right here in Kenya who will be sharing with us how they met, dated, wed, and how life has been for them since that very beautiful wedding day. This is Mr. and Mrs. Makau, and I want to welcome them for them to tell us their names, of course, again, and also what they do specifically and anything else they would like to share with us. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
You can introduce yourselves, your name, exactly what you do, and anything else you'd like us to know about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Isaac Makau. I'm a police officer by profession, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, Karibu, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm Alice Makau. I am a police officer serving in the Kenya Police Department. Initially, I was an AP until we were merged with the Kenya Police. I serve in Dakaine Police Station, and I'm so glad to be hosted in the Marriage Corner Show. Thank you so much.
Karibu, Alice. You didn't tell us which...
Our designation?
Yes.
Well, I'm an administration police officer. I also serve at Ndakaini and Critical Infrastructure Protection Unit. And yeah.
Okay.
So we are constables.
And we are police constables, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hata sitajifanya nimeelewa, but we'll roll with that. Karibuni sana. Thank you. I'm enjoying myself already. You can tell this is unique for me, having officers with me. I'm a friend of the police, so karibuni again.
Thank you.
Now we'll just head out and start our interview. And I would like to know, I'll start with the lady. Where did you grow up? What were your dreams when you were growing up? Before you met this guy, before you even knew they existed, who were you? What were you like? What was life like for you?
Yeah, okay. I was born in Molo, Sachangwan. That is my home place, the famous Sachangwan, where there was oil blast. Everyone knows that. So that is where I was born. But I was raised up since a very young baby in Kisumu, Nyalenda. I went to school in Kibuye Mixed Primary School, went to Kisumu Girls High School, Form 1, until the 207 clashes came. That was the end of me in Kisumu, because we had to move out of that place since we were not of that tribe. So from there I came to Nakuru, stayed with my auntie. Later went to Nyeri, stayed with my sister. That is where I schooled until I finished my high school, and I got a job. And my dreams, I really desired to be a neurosurgeon. Yes, and I was capable. A very brilliant girl, intelligent. And until I was messed up by schoolmates in high school. So this day, just to give a little detail of how they messed me up. Being a bright girl, I was sponsored by my principal because I was totally an orphan. My parents just passed on long ago. So she sponsored me, and she took care of me being in boarding school. After getting into the boarding school in Form 3, the girls in there decided that we need to have a strike. Schools are striking, so why not us? And they told me that, Alice, uko na influence. We huwezi julikana if you lead the strike. Madam anakupenda, you are so innocent. Who can even imagine unaweza ongoza strike? Nikasikia, yes, kumbe mna understand. So I decided to lead the strike, and it was so bad. I decided to lead the strike, and tukagoma at 3. So from there, me actually nilipewa expulsion ya mdomo over the phone. If you dare come back to this school, I've registered Form 4. Now I started reading through the library, got another school, and life really became a challenge because I remember like the whole Form 4 syllabus I never learnt it like fully. Mara mingi nilikuwa either najisomea, later on ndo nikaingizwa in another school. So hata after kumaliza shule, I was so thirsty to go back to school. I was feeling like sija quench my thirst. I wish naweza kuwa student tena. So because of those hiccups and challenges, siku manage kupata the grade I wanted. I got a B plane of 61 points and I was capable to get an A minus. So that is where my dreams of being a neurosurgeon died. So after that, nikamwacha sasa tushikane na Mungu kabisa ya ukweli. I got born again in Form 3 and got serious with God now after Form 4. Yes.
And
yes.
How did you land as a member of the police force?
I really loved ministry. After now the Form 4, I really came to love God with all my heart. Yes, I was really brought up by very prayerful parents. My mother was an intercessor. I always say that she might have not left me anything much because she died when I was in Form 1. But the one greatest treasure that she left me was intercessory. She made sure that we would pray. She would wake up at 3 and I took that. So I really loved ministry. When I got to, in the year 2010, I went to Narumoru. That is where I got my spiritual father, Pastor Jeff. So he nurtured me, and I served under him to the level that I was like the assistant pastor, the church secretary, and I had really grown. So by that loving the ministry, I never wanted anything. I became a full-time minister. And my family was not okay with that. Remember, I finished Form 4 when I was 17 years old, in that 2010. So 2011 was when I was 18. At 18, you are a full-time minister. What do you mean? What do you mean you are a full-time minister at 18? You need to clothe, you need to do all that. And no, with full-time ministry at that time, it was just a little bit of what to keep you up, maybe like a house rent and something little. And that was a pleasure for me, waking up and being in church the whole time. I loved that. So, but they told me that, no, you must get a job. You are so young. And they told me, prepare yourself. There's going to be a recruitment in Nakuru for the police, the National Police Service. And they told me, prepare yourself, you must go. So I talked with my dad and told him, he told me, no, pali imefika, do as what your family is telling you. You'll still come back to ministry. Personally, I was really fearing to get into the police service because I would hear that, hey, police, and I was like, I'm born again, I love God, and then I go mess up in the police. So that was my greatest fear. But when I came to learn that in the police service, there are born-again Christians, and you can go through the training born again and come out born again, that gave me boldness. And I can testify that there are born-again Christians in the police service. I went to college born again. I went for internship born again, and I passed out born again. I'm still serving born again.
Hey,
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a beautiful testimony.
Thank you.
Okay. Enyewe hapo umesema you are worried. It's a fear, I think, everywhere. So it's a fear out there. But the fact that you did it, then there is hope. There is hope that there is salvation in the National Police Service.
Yes.
All right. Isaac,
Yes.
How was life before you even knew this gender exists? Where were you brought up? What was life like?
Well, I was born in Kijabe, Thogoto, but immediately after that we transferred to Isiolo, where my dad went to be a pastor with the AIC Church, and I went to school in Isiolo Barracks Primary School, and I went to Sacred Heart Secondary School. Immediately after that, I think after I finished high school, I didn't finish the next year out of school. I got employed with the National Police Service Administration Police. And then I went for my training for 9 months. I was posted to West Pokot County, where I served for a year and a half. and then I transferred to Murang'a County. Since then, I had been in relationships and stuff, but nothing worked for me until I met her.
Okay.
And by then, I had made up my mind that I want to be serious. I'm not looking for love. Love will come if it will come. I'm looking for somebody who will help me do purpose. Because for me, I got to a point whereby if I'm marrying for love, what if this love dies? Why will I be there? But if I am pursuing purpose, I need a helper. And that was God's idea when he came up with this institution of marriage. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hata sitoki hapo. Back to you, Isaac. You have a very, very good point. So how did you then identify this girl? If you are marrying not for love, it's purpose. How did you get to see purpose in her? Okay, we've heard her story. This girl is all ministry.
Yes.
Police ni job too, but she's all ministry. How did you get to
Let me
identify?
go back a little bit. I was in a relationship. I was looking for love. Every young person or young man or young woman always wants to feel that appreciated, pampered and stuff. But it gets to a point whereby that's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody is giving you love, somebody is doing everything you thought would have been enough for you. But you get to a point, it's not really it. So I told myself, what exactly do you want? After those relationships never worked, what do you want? And I came up with a list. I want somebody who is God-fearing. I want somebody, because personally I'm a keyboardist, I play the piano in church. I want somebody who can sing, and sing well because I'll play for them well. And I want somebody who is prayerful. I want somebody who will challenge me spiritually. Yes. Because kuna vile unaweza kuwa unaishi maisha yako nafikiri, wewe ndio ulifika. But utakutana na mtu, ndio Mswahili alisema pwagu alipata pwaguzi. So mimi nilikuwa nataka pwaguzi. Because I thought I knew God. I thought I've been brought up in church, so hakuna kitu taniambia. But nilikuwa ninataka mtu ambaye atani challenge spiritually. So once I came up with that list, I went on my knees and I asked God, this is what I want when it comes to relationship. And God told me, make sure before you bring that list back, you've met everything that is in that list. Make sure yourself you're prayerful. Make sure yourself you want somebody who can sing, improve your skills in the piano. Yani, God aliniambia, I'm ready to do it for you, but you must, lazima umeshe up.
Okay.
So nikarudi class. Ikabidi nianze kujifunza kuomba, ikabidi nianze kujifunza word, because I was very shallow in the word of God. And now I started growing spiritually. Yeah. Wow. So when I met her, I thought I knew how to pray. Wait until she introduced prayers in our conversations, ile conversation mnakuanga nazo wakati mna date. Akasema na by the way leo tunaweza chapa maombi. Nikamwambia okay, utatuombea umwayo ombewa, badala useme amen unachukua kitabu na karatasi unaanza kuandika notes. Yes. And it dawned on me, you wanted somebody who will challenge you spiritually. This is it. So one day she told me, by the way, there is something I'm praying for, and I'm going for a 7-day fast. Personally, I've never fasted in my life. The longest I have fasted was 6 hours, and I felt like I was going to die. But this is somebody who is fasting for 7 days. Amuliza, alafu na survive aje hapo naishingi mbinguni unakuja huko. She was like, no, I'm just taking water. Nikisikia I need some energy, I take tea. And I'm like, boss, utaweza? But the grace was sufficient. Yeah. So she really challenged me. And the thing about purpose is that because I wanted somebody who will challenge me, nikasema sasa hata wewe itabidi ufuate nyayo. I started fasting. Now I can, it's not that hard for me because the grace of God is sufficient. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, CV yako iko sawa. We approve all that you had told us about you. Now, can you remember the first date with all that? Can you remember your first date? And how? Okay. Kwani mlienda Prayer Mountain nyinyi first date? What happened?
Okay, ukiona anacheka, there's a story behind the
Please
first
tell
date.
me.
Okay, sasa.
Okay.
Okay, vile umesikia this born again girl. And then I was not exposed. Alafu raha mingi mi sikuwa napenda. I was so afraid nitafanya raha nipate ball. So and then you see that big name.
Yes.
This girl born again with the whole trailer, and then umepata ball. How do you tell people? So I used to keep to myself, and I will not enter. It's not that I never had relationships before. No, I had several. Actually, it's not like my first love. I had several, even taken home until unaambiwa so usilete mtu mwingine tena. Okay. Because nami I was like, if you're getting into a relationship, it is marriage.
Okay.
Actually, I think one thing I want to bring out is that it is until you just don't marry or get married because you feel like you want to get married. Because for real, ingekuwa ni ku get married juu unataka ku get married, I would have gotten married at the age of 23.
Okay.
Yes, but I got married at the age of 26. So, mpaka ukaambiwa wacha kwanza, discover yourself.
Yeah.
Because na mimi sikuwa tupelekane. So unaona tumeomba kama tunakuja pamoja. So but God knew a lot of things. Akastopisha. So I remember the first date. I really had a challenge because mi story ya menu mi sijui. Sikuwa njua stories za menu. And then mikahawa mikubwa. Alafu remember nimekaa Ukambani 3 years. Ukambani ile Ukambani ya ukweli. Hakuna hata ATM, hakuna bank. Actually, at the end of the month, we would go to Mwingi town. You withdraw all the money you want to use. Unakaa nayo kwa hao. Juu hakuna bank, hakuna ATM.
Na mustuni.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So, nimekuja town. This guy was taking me out for a date. So, akaitisha kuku, a wet fry. Ikakuja. Then, tukaletewa hizi mafork na kivisu. God. Mi sijui hizo zinatumikanga aje. So, and then utaki kuchoma. Kai. And then ni kuku. Unaona unataka kukula kuku natural. You want to be yourself. But remember, this is the first date you're meeting this person. Mi nimejaribu kutumia visu, kuku inatoka kwa sahani naanguka. Nikamua kama mbaya. But he was so skilled in that. Anatoa mfupa ya kuku na kisu na fork. Mpaka unaacha kukulu unamwangalia kwanza. And then ilikuwa ile design ya ushaona mzee ni kama anakuhumiliate. Anakwambia ligi yako iko chini kidesign ile yenye akipata kachakula akiguza kachakula hivi anapanguza na serviette. So it was so humiliating to me. And nilipoenda kwangu nikajiuliza, Alice, utaweza? Ni ushamba, utaweza? I was like, and then I said, akinipenda, anipende na ushamba yangu. I don't care. Nikasema na pia akiona ni mbaya anifu. So ile kujijaza sema, to hell with it. Akinipenda atanipenda hivyo vile. But it was until date, I always remember how it was. Because you see when I fork, by then yeye amenifunza akaniambia kuna yenye nashikwa na mkono ya left na ya right. Akaniambia usiniaibishe, you don't do this. Amenigroom sana. I really thank God. Yeah.
Kwa na ubaya. I'm just being myself.
You're just being you.
Yes.
Then apparently your upbringings are very different. If for her she didn't even know how to use a fork, and you guy you're so skilled unatoa fupa na fork na knife. How was your upbringing kwani?
Not really. Nilikuwa naona my dad asubuhi, especially when you're having breakfast, madhe anamtengenezea mayai, alafu analete na fork na kisu. So I used to watch him. How you dissect the eggs, how you roll it with the fork and the knife, ataidunga, akule, asema, okay. So mimi nilikuwa class all along. So wakati ilifika time yangu ya kuanza sasa kuona kama nilishika, it wasn't that hard for me because hata nikiona inanilemea, I used to remember what I saw my dad doing, and then yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that bit about your dad. You grew up with your dad. For her, she lost her dad when she was in Form 1.
Dad was when I was in class 4.
Class 4, that's even much younger.
Yeah.
But for you grew up seeing, so you were quite an
Yes,
adult.
yes.
How was your relationship with dad and mom?
My relationship with them was something else. It was good. Actually, mimi ndio nilikuwa napendwa sana nyumbani because I'm the last born.
Hey.
And my dad was tough but very gentle. Tough but very gentle. Very, very gentle. He was this man that when he is amejam na wewe but anakuongelesha kismile. Na si ile smile sarcastic, ni genuine.
Okay.
Anakwambia mtu afanyangi. So hizo ile nari ameshika. But he is just smiling. So unashindwa umekasirika ama unafurahi. And my dad was a good man. Hata sijui nitasema nini. I don't have enough words to express the kind of man he was. But he really brought me up well. He brought me up in the ways of God. Actually, one thing I thank God about him is that he not only prepared the future for me, he prepared me for the future.
Okay.
He taught me the ways of God. He taught me what fearing God means. He taught me what sin is and what it does to you. So even when I was being enrolled in the police service, back in my mind, I knew what sin was before I saw it. So it wasn't hard for me to be different. If at all people say police are different people, I can be different. Yeah.
Okay.
Because actually my dad, before he became a pastor, he was a KDF, and he resigned to do ministry. He resigned to do ministry. Yeah.
Okay. So I like it. I like how you're passionate about your father. Now that makes me wonder, the fact that you didn't grow up with your dad, and I did hear you mention a brother as you were talking. Does it mean that you only grew up with ladies around you? Does it mean your relationships are the times you're meeting and the passy? Is it the first time you're interacting very well with men? You are also in a girls' school, if I remember well.
Yeah.
How was it growing up now without the male figure? Like for him, how was it different?
Okay, I have a brother that I follow. Actually, he's the one who took my dowry. He's the one who walked me down the aisle. Yes. But it's really so sorrowful not to have someone to call a father. It's so bad. It's so painful. So actually, if we can come back a little bit on when we lost our parents, I felt double grief until, I was so depressed until I was almost walking out of salvation in the faith. And I felt like this thing doesn't even work and God is not even caring. And I was like, sasa, God, huwezi kuwa serious. Okay, you took my biological parents. Now, unakuja unanionjesha love ya wazazi wenye wananipenda with all their heart, and then hata tujapata hata kujuana 3 months wameenda saa alafu. So it was so bad. Actually, I remember when I got my baby, I would cry every morning. I'm lactating and crying because I would imagine vile ladies huwa wana give birth and then wazazi wao wako hapo kuwahiuhilia to take care of them. Me now, okay, my sister did best, my firstborn sister. She did best, she came for a few days, but she had to go back because she also has her own home. Then nimeachwa hapo na msichana wa kazi na my husband. Those just normal people. And it was so terrible. So terrible. My husband alikuwa hata yanakuwa heartbroken sana. Kwa nashindwa sasa nitafanyaje zaidi. This is the best I can do. This is vile kulienda. Sasa itakuwaje. And I remember I called my spiritual father and I told him, Dad, this thing is killing me up. I had my friend called Kasupu, tunamutanga Kasupu. So whenever I would cry a lot, she was the one I would call while crying. Kasupu, nalia, nafa anani-comfort. Akini-comfort. Nilikuwa nataka tu hiyo comfort. Mtu tu ananisikiza, mtu anafeel kenye nasema, vile na feel. And my dad one day encouraged me, akaniambia, you know what, Alice? This is what happened to David. When David had came from battle, and akapata Ziklag imetekwa nyara. The Bible says the men cried until they would cry no more. But the Bible says that David encouraged himself in the Lord. Akanambia, it is time you will encourage yourself in the Lord. From that day, I learned to encourage myself in the Lord. Then when these prayer festivals of Apostle William Kimani came, there was this day I'm going to preach about repentance on forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
So I started that. I started forgiving myself. Nikasema, Alice, wewe si mbaya. Because unajua kuna place unaweza jiuliza, kwani mimi nimelaaniwa? Kwani mimi ni mbaya that nikishika tu place inateleza inatoka. So I started forgiving myself. Nikajirelieve, and I was healed. And now I'm very okay. I love him because naye pia Alice turned into that place of a father. Kabisa. My husband yani afadhali yakose, but mimi nisikose. I'm telling you. Yani hakuna kitu nimewahi tamani. Afadhali afanye juu chini. I'm telling you, sijui anatoanga pesa wapi. Hata kama hakuna do kwa hiyo hao. You want this? Just have it. He's become like a father to me. And I really thank God, not just a husband, even a father. I really thank God. Nikiwa na yeye, na feel your warmth. Na feel like and then I see the way and upon our son, I'm like, thank God, this son will not have the emptiness that I used to have. So, yeah, nashukuru sana.
Wow. Big ups, Isaac. Well,
Glory to God.
That is quite a task. But did you know she needed that when you guys were dating and all that? Did you know about that?
Kinda, but it was not coming out that clearly. Najua when you're dating, mtu hatatoa true colors. Na hata ji-expose, especially when in terms of the weakness, they just show you their best, the best part, their strong points and stuff, but weakness tunawachiwa tukutane naye tukioa.
Okay.
So, but I think it is just discernment by the help of the Holy Spirit. And hata mi sikujua I was all that to her. I was just being me by the help of God. Because there's one thing I told God, that because you have given me the woman of my dreams, I don't want to disappoint you. Give me the grace that she needs. Make in me what you intended for her to have. That was my daily prayer, and it still is. That, Lord, let me be what you intended me to be. Let me be the man you had in mind when you were forming me in my mother's womb. So, inakuja tu step by step, day by day, vitu mpya zina reveal. Yeah, that's why we are here.
Hey, big ups to you. Answer to you. Wow. That's exceptional. That's a beautiful prayer. I wish every human being would actually have that as a personal prayer. I want to be exactly what God had in mind from the very beginning. Okay, I will jump the dating part. Won't ask about any other date if you ever learned to use them during dates. But I'm sure you I'm sure you remember the wedding.
Yeah. Yes.
So you guys met which year? Meeting.
2017.
So you had your first dating?
Actually, it was still 2017.
Auku nini? Auku waste time? Ukampeleka date? How long did it take now for you to engage her and all that? Please take me through from that first date quickly up to until the wedding.
After the first date, tulianza. Actually, before the first date, we went for like 2 months just conversing. And she got to a point where she was frustrated, but hakuwa nairusha kwangu because mi hakuna kitu nilikuwa namwambia in terms of it is you I want. Ni ile tu ni aje umeshinda kwa tunaongea story anacheka and stuff, but I never told her I was interested because nakumbuka nilikuwa na checklist. So mi nilikuwa naenda kwa checklist yangu. Check tick. So it took me 2 months to complete my checklist. So once it did, akawa kona alikuwa anafanyiwa farewell party ile place alikuwa before she came to Maranga. So and there walikuwa wamejenga kanisa. Actually she pioneered a church there. So the church was doing a farewell party for her. Na yeye akasema, as my gift for you as I go, nitawaletea viti because it was a new church. So wakatumobilize na wase wengi tunapeleka viti place fulani, alafu wakaita mabeshte wengi but apparently I was the only one who was available.
Okay.
Mwenye alipatikana kuenda huko. Wengine walituma do tukanunua viti, but sasa wenye walimpeleka physically ni mimi niliwawakilisha.
Okay.
So once we got there is when I told her my intentions for her. And I told her now, because her friend, mwenye walikuwa very, very good friends, they hosted us. It's a couple. And wakaniuliza, by the way, what intentions do you have with our friend? Because apparently, wewe peke yako ndio umemleta. This must be something else. And I told them, by the way, masaa ndio haya, ilikuwa saa 8 usiku. Tumechapa story kutoka saa 3.
Okay.
So I told her, I've come to love you and I want to spend life with you. Hakuwa naamini. Ilikuwa nakaa ni jokes. And I told her, I'm very, very serious. So hata hakung'ang'ana kusema yes. Let me pray and consult and speak in tongues. No, it was a yes. Ni kama zile za Yesu unasemanga ni kama before uambiwe hapana sikuwa serious. Alisema haraka haraka because she was really yearning for that, and I also na mimi sikuwa nataka ile. Unajua pia mwanaume lazima uogope rejection. Hakuna kitu baya kama rejection. But haikuwa rejection, it was that. And then fast forward tukawa tuna meet kwa church and stuff. Sasa time engagement tulikuwa tumeanza kupanga harusi and rorashio. Na alikuwa ni kama usijaribu kulete mahari kwetu kabla hujaniweka ring kwa mkono. Nikamwambia tulia, relax. So tukawa we were doing those meetings, na pia at that time tulikuwa tumepanga meeting na groomsmen na bridal team. Na hapo ndio nikasema hapa ndio nitafanya engagement. So tulipanga hiyo mkutano na yeye because we needed to meet the bridal team to update what we need from them, how we are going to do it in matters concerning the wedding. So pale nikarudi sasa na bridal team akiwa nje, nikamwambia fanyeni hivi, nataka kumsurprise na ring, so nyinyi mcheze kama nyinyi. Tukabuy keki with tuliorganize keki na my marital parents, that is my mom, anaitwa Mom Kate, mwenye alitusimamia harusi, her matron. Tukabuy keki and stuff. So nikamwambia vile tukua kwa meeting, you just come holding the cake and interrupt the meeting. It was a very serious meeting. Sasa tunafanya meeting but mimi najua yana habari. So wakakuja na cake and I was like, why are you interrupting my meeting? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And she was like, ala, kumbe unaweza kuwa mkali. Sasa naanza kunituliza, naambia Mungu ngoja kwanza, let me handle this. Why are you interrupting my meeting? Mama Kate akasema hapana, lazima tusherekee kwanza. Sasa anauliza ni birthday ya nani? Leteni hiyo keki hapa kwanza nione hiyo birthday ni ya nani. Hebu lete. So I took the cake. Unajua ni nini imeandikwa kwa keki? So nikachukua keki. I opened it up. Okay. Oh, okay. Hebu soma hiyo niambie nasema nini? So when she read, it was, Alice, will you marry me?
Oh.
And she was like, what do you mean? So wakati amefunga macho ameanza kulia, mimi na ring.
Oh.
Will you marry me? So when she came back, she found me, Allah, you already on your knees. What is, she got confused. And hiyo ndio nilikuwa nataka kucapture. Wow. So that is how the engagement was, and the bridal team celebrated. Yeah, it was such a nice event.
Hey, at least you got surprised. You got what you wanted, a ring and a surprise.
Yeah. Ilikuwa kali.
Look at you smiling.
I believed that. Wezi ni surprise. No, mimi ule mse wa ma surprises.
Okay.
Ask him. And I believe that kuna mtu anaweza ni outdo kwa surprises. Aliniwahi.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, now I'll ask you about the wedding. It's that beautiful, super day for the girls. What were your colors? How many did you have in the bridal team? What's the most remarkable thing you can remember? Tell me about your wedding.
About our wedding, before we did the wedding, I had gone to school as an event planner. So by the time we were doing the wedding, I was already an event planner. Yes.
Okay.
So I had to make sure that my event was the best. Out of the knowledge I had got. So our colors were teal and orange.
Okay.
And it was so nice. It was such a wonderful. We had 2 dresses, 2 attires for the bridal team. They had one for the reception ambayo sasa ilikuwa dress, ilikuwa trouser na an African blouse and shirt for the men. And flat shoes for the dance. So what really stood out for me was hapo kwa kusema vows. Yes, because I remember kuna time nikiwa kwa ofisi ya my dad, nilipata hiyo book ya vows. And I remember nikisoma hiyo vows, hata sikumalizanga statement ya pili. Ile emotions zilinipata, nikasema, kai, you mean vitu kai hizi? Don't I sema in life, hii ni serious. So hiyo time ya ku-exchange vows, I was like, really, ni mimi na exchange vows. Yeah, and then the other part was the reception. Tuli climax na wimbaji. We sang. You know, my husband knows even how to play the guitar. So we crowned it up with a song, which was so wonderful. But my greatest fear was what had happened on the eve. Because on the eve, tulikuwa tumepanga ku-rehearse vile nitaingia. And we were singing this song, "You've done so much for me." And I tell you the truth. Si bridal team wameingia vile tunapanga vile wataingia. So it was my turn. And that song started singing. Nilishindwa kuingia. I cried. God.
Kwa rehearsal?
Kwa rehearsal.
Alikuwa na rehearse kulia.
Akinililia. Okay. I was not imagining it is me. And then in my family, this is the first wedding ever.
Wow.
Hakuna mtu ashaiwed. And then nakumbuka background yangu. Ni mimi. Ilini captures. So my sister came, me and my firstborn sis were so juende alinilea. So akakuja akanipembeleza nikasober up, nikaingia. So now even during the wedding day, makeup ni kurudiwa tena. Yani mnamaliza makeup, mnakuwa emotional, mnaanza kulia tena. Mnaanzisha. So it was but I thank God nikiingia church, nilikuwa strong. Smile all through mpaka vows zikauma. Vows nikasema vizuri.
Ukulia?
Hapana, sikulia. Yeye pia kulia.
Mimi kwanza nilikuwa nashindwa kwa nini haingii, kumbe ni makeup. Wanarudia but for me what stood out pia ni hiyo place ya vows. And hapo kwa kuimba kalishika mbaya. Kalishika mbaya. I loved the way tulimaliza na that song. And the wedding was glorious. Because one thing we were praying with my mom concerning that wedding before they passed on, ilikuwa, may God be the guest of honor in that wedding. It is not even about us. Wacha Mungu apokee utukufu. And that is what happened. So the whole thing, yani ukiangalia kutoka lineup ya kupanga vitu, bridal team, the church, everything was perfect. Siwezi sema ati, unajua watu husema harusi zinakuanga na hiccups, mkipanga sijui mnakosana. Mimi sikuona kitu kama. We never, hatukukosana. I think the only time tulikosana kidogo ni wakati tulikuwa tunapanga hao. Before the new house was, before tuingie kwa hiyo hao mpya. Penye sasa tunaishi, that house was dirty. Na tulilala tukiosha. So mimi nilifika place nikachoka. I got extremely exhausted. Na huyu achoki.
Okay.
Mimi nikalala. Sasa siandishika nare. But the following day alikuwa ametulia. So I think that was the only challenge niliona. But any other thing, we never experienced any challenges. Everything was, because it is like God had prepared us, whereby she used to have dreams concerning the wedding. At times, anaota wasichana wake nguo zao zimeenda kwa fundi hazijamaliziwa, and it is the wedding day. At times, amefika kwa wedding venue na hana dress, but sasa ni dream. So it's like God is preparing you. Ebu shughulikia hizi nguo za wasichana, ebu shughulikia dress yako. That is, hivyo ndivyo ilikuwa. So tukapata whatever is coming up, tuko tayari. Yeah. So ilikuwa ilikuwa smooth for us. But na ile maombi tulikuwa tunachapa. Tulikonda.
But he was so big. Tukipatana, alikuwa anakaa baba fulani.
Nilikuwa nakaa baba nani?
Baba nani. So acha tuingie line ya maombi. Ali streamline.
Alijua kufast. Sasa una fasting siku ngapi hivi?
Kidogo ni 3, 7, 21, 30.
Wow. You've done 30.
Yes.
Wewe umefika ngapi?
Mimi. Sasa nampeleka pole pole.
Umepunguza sasa? Nilidhani utatuambia Moses 40. Okay. All right.
But it is all to the glory of God.
Yes,
For
yes,
sure,
yes,
for
yes,
sure.
yeah.
Your story is such an encouragement. So far, I'm encouraged. I'm inspired.
Amen.
I can see God. Kwanza in him, I can really see wewe ulikuwa minister from,
Yeah.
But this guy ni kulelewa. It's not always that pastors' kids are godly.
Yeah.
So seeing God through you,
Wow.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And
Glory.
with that, we're going to take a very short break. And when we come back, they will take us through life after the wedding. They will tell us, has being officers had any impact in their marriage or not? Or whatever else they choose to tell us. So see you after the short break. This is the Marriage Corner Show with Vionah. Welcome back to the second part of our interview with the Makaus. This is still the Marriage Corner Show with Vionah. And when we left off, or when we took our break, these guys were telling us about their wedding and how it was for them and the vows captivating them. And now I want us to go right to life after the wedding. It's not been long for them, so I'm sure they have all the details. So, the Makaus. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, so allow me to ask, after honeymooning, you had your big day, you went for your honeymoon, and you came back. Ulipelekwa wapi mahali kwa kwanza? Ulipelekwa kwa nyumba ukapike ugali ama did you first take tours? What was life like immediately after honeymoon?
Immediately after honeymoon, of course, we went back to our house. And tukaanza life. Na okay, it was not the normal life ya kawaida, umeanza stress. You're two people. You can order a meal. You can do snacks. And then now we had this series here, 24. 24. We started that series tukiwa honeymoon. Sasa after honeymoon tumerudi kwa hao ni 24. We are having Minute Maid na mandazi bites. Lunch, breakfast, supper na 24.
Okay.
So it was so fun. It was so, alafu baridi ya ndakaine. Alafu umeoana. Aishi.
I feel you.
Ilikuwa poa sana.
Okay. Okay, so he said at some point when he was talking, he said at some point he feigned anger. Nakumbuka akituambia alileta noma kiasi. Is he a person who gets angry? Is he a soft person? How would you describe your husband when it comes to temper issues? Okay. And yeah, we all grew up. Yeah, akina civilians, akina civilians tuliambua mabwana polisi wanakuwa na hasira na wanatumianga gun paka kwa hao. Is it true? Demystify this for me.
All right. Now about the anger. Everyone gets angry.
True.
The degree of anger differs. And I remember one of a very funny quote, I'm saying, iliwahi toka from my colleagues. I once told them that, sicheze na my husband. My husband anaweza kuwa na hasira, anaweza kasirika. Akaniambia nani? Mume wako hata inzi haezi huwa. They is so cool. Every time is ever cool. They're like, kama ni we Alice, we ni sawa. Unaweza fanya hivyo. Hata mtu unaweza piga. Like husband. So really, I can say that it's not that once ukikuwa polisi, unavalishwa hasira. No. Hapana ikwange tivili unavalishwa uniform, sasa hiyo uniform inakuja na hasira yake loaded. Hapana, kuna personality ya kila mtu. And for me, my husband is a very cool man. Not just me. Anyone can testify that. And in very rare occasions, ndio utapata hata aliwahi. Especially vile tumeget into marriage, sijawahi ona asira yake may blow out to me or even to the nearby people. He's so calm. And he's mimi ndo mtu asira. And by God's grace, anaenda kidili nayo. Mi yenyewe kuna venye, but I really thank God for the grace is appreciated. So the one other place Ashai manifest was this time that we were a very young couple, and he had just under Kaini, that is where we stay. And this young girl, after marriage, you just glow. So this man meets me and he's like, sinikusindikize, hey, nakamrembo, and I have my ring.
Okay.
So nikamwambia mimi sitaki ujinga yako. Hapana, unajua uko mrembo nini? Nikamwambia achana na mimi, nikaachana na. Then I had not reported to Ndakaine as a police officer, so I was still on my leave. No one knows that mimi ni askari. So nikarudi kwangu, nika prepare chai. I will check to my husband tea where he works. Nikampelekea chai. Kupeleka chai, kumbe huyo jamaa pia alikuwa anakuja the same place.
Oops.
So alipofika, so you know the way kids do, nitakusema kwa baba. Alipofika tu hivi, I was like, babe, unaona huyu mtu? Mtu alikuwa ananikatia, ananiambia mimi ni mrembo, ananiambia nisindikize. Najui mimi nimeolewa. Hey. The lion in him came out.
Okay.
That guy was like 1,000 times apologetic. Alimhanda. My husband alimhanda proper. And that one was good because iliweka a distance up till date. That you can't cross this boundary. His colleagues knew, no, do anything else, but between Alice and Makau, don't dare come. You see that? It was so very open, and I really thank God because you must set boundaries. Hapa si story na polisi, ama story na civilian.
Yeah.
No, you must set boundaries as far as you're in marriage. And another thing that is mandated to husbands is to protect their wives.
True.
If you make your wife appear vulnerable, and note this, not just in the public place, even when you're with your relatives, you are there to protect your wife. You are a source of security to her. Usiallow in-laws and everyone is talking ill about your wife and they're there, hata mimi sinaonanga hivyo. Hata mimi unajua vile ananikasirishaga. No. When you're there, your wife when you're there to take care of her. Protect, hata kama unajua yake ana snow. Hapana.
Usiongeze.
Wachana na ikifika huko kwa nyumba, babe, lakini hapo ulikosea. But in the image of the people, you know, when a wife is protected, they feel good.
Sure.
They feel secure. But when you make her vulnerable, anaende apate place, atapata ka security, umemlose. Yeah,
sure.
So that's true. So asira, si kila askari ako na asira. Na hii uniform, wacha ni repeat hapo. Hii uniform haikuji na asira. Ati askari akivaa uniform amevaa asira pamoja. No. We are human beings. Degrees of anger differs from one person to another. Musiogope askari. Yes, very friendly people.
What?
Yes.
That is from a fellow askari. But still, you guys are lovable. I'm still grappling with the fact that Nini askari. So it's true. There are some nice people in the force.
Sure.
She said she gets angry.
Yes.
Please share. Ni wapi alikufika hapa?
Well,
Ndiyo asira.
Personally, I thank God because amenipatia grace ya kuwa patient.
Sana.
Okay.
That's true.
So, hata nikiona meshika nare aje, I always go behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, nijaribu kujua, what are you trying to drive home? Sitaangalia manifestation. I'll go behind the scenes. And I try to get what she was communicating and address that.
Okay.
But manifestations, tantrums, mi sitaziona. I'll block them.
Okay.
But
Yes.
wanarusha tantrum.
Tantrums anarusha.
Kwani pia ni last born?
Huyu ni last born.
Oh, so you're two last borns in the house?
Sasa shida ni last born mpole na last born mkali. Sasa unajua God is a matchmaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've still not shared an example of a time she was angry. Makau usiruke hiyo. Share one.
Okay, sasa nitatafuta
Hata
gani.
kadogo. You know, she's just smiling here and telling us how she's a minister or prayer warrior.
I love the prayer warrior because hiyo hasira huwa ina manifest kwa maombi.
Oh.
Akidila mapepo unajua but sasa ndatafuta gani? I remember there was a time
we watch movies late in the night.
Oh yes, thank you. Hata sikumbuki because I don't keep a record of wrongs, love. Sasa nimekaa, tumemaliza sapa vizuri, tumeomba. Mimi niko zile za I'm not feeling like sleeping now. Na yeye amechoka nataka kulala. So mimi nikabaki table room nikiwatch movies. Yeye ameenda bedroom kulala. So mimi nikawatch movie mpaka around 2 am. Nikajiambia by the way, unafaa uende ula. Sikuwa bado nimerudi job, I was still on my leave, early days of marriage. So I went back, ajalala.
Okay.
Ananingoja.
Okay.
Ako zile za ndio umekumbuka umeoa. I'm like, sasa ni nini? Alikuwa ameshika nare. Akaniambia hata utalala hapa, go to the sleep to the next room, mama ukiona ulale, ukiona movie enda ulale, but you're not sleeping here.
Okay.
And I was like, if I make a mistake of going out of this room, I am not a man.
Okay.
Yes. So I told her, I'm not going anywhere. And hakuna mtu atalala mpaka tusolve kitu. One thing tulifanya, before even we got married, we agreed we'll never sleep angry at one another, whether we are here physically or apart. So tukujua tumekasirikiana, kama tuko mbali weka simu kwa charger juu tutaongea.
Okay.
Ukijua tuko pamoja kunywa kahawa juu tutaongea. And the conversation we will only sleep once we are good with one another, once the issue is solved. So tuliongea, nika apologize, akozile za lakini si eti anakataa, but unajua si eti anakataa juu anakataa. Anakataa tu juu exactly, but mdomo inakataa, but roho inasema sina ubaya. So we talked it out and I told her mimi sikuwa na feel kulala and we solved it. But nikasema nime take notes. Yes.
Why not just join him and watch movies instead of throwing a tantrum in bed? Help us.
No, hapana. Unajua kuna time tumeset ya kila kitu.
Okay.
Yes. Sasa it was past movie time and then we are married. And then wembo usikuje tulale. Mbona watch movie.
Okay. So it has to do with timelines and settings and following also the rule and tunakuelewa. I get where you're coming from.
I'm the last born. So hawezi niacha tu peke yangu na watch movie.
Alafu ulisema unapenda daddy. Na ni newlywed. On that note of you guys being both last-borns, do you think that affects your marriage in any way?
No.
We've been told last-borns are selfish. Sijui last-borns of tantrum throwers. Last-borns, kila mtu ako na say over their lives. Does it affect your marriage in any way, no matter how minute? Would you have noticed?
Mimi naweza sema Mungu alisaidia my husband. I think vile alisema hapo. Mungu alimpea grace ya kukua ka first born. Because me I'm more of a last born. Me ni last born. Yeah, at least Mungu alimpea hiyo ya kuinuka juu. Akakuwa anaweza lead, anaweza kuwa patient, na mimi kwanza hapo pa patient 101. By the way, if it is not patience, hatungekuwa hapa. Serious. Hatungekuwa, cause vile umecheki ma tantrums and all that, kujam, kushika nare, ile kibiriti na waka dakika na nusu. Cause mimi napenda vitu zangu ziende vile nilipanga. When you do it, hiyo ni kelele, hiyo ni, but now he's so patient, he's so cool. Very cool. Ina to hold together. Juu hata hapo kwa hiyo coolness na mimi nakujanga naona yenyewe Alice hata ufanye poa hapo. Unaona ufanye poa, watu una apologize mpaka waki. But no, unanikasirishanga lakini nimeacha. Yes.
Nakumbuka ingine.
Please share. Yenye imekuja.
Sasa juzi tu kuna vile bedroom yetu imepangwa. Yeye ni mtu organized.
Okay.
Yaani unaona vile glass iko hivi. Wito usongeshe tu 2 centimeters. itamsumbua. So anapenda kama aliacha hapa aipate hapa. Sasa kuna hii siku nilikuwa natafuta earphones. Nilikuwa nataka kusikiza message fulani ya Pastor T. So nimetafuta earphones, nimeenda penye ameziweka kwa zinajua. Sasa penye earphones zimewekwa na kofia za job zake. Sasa nikatoa kofia ya job nikaekelea juu ya bed, nikachukua earphones. Sasa sikurudisha kofia. Nilipata mwaka moto hivi. Kwa nini hukurudisha kofia pale ulitoa? Sasa si ni earphone nilikuwa nachukua. Wewe huwezi panga nyumba vile ulipata. Sasa yani imekuwa tena ni kupanga nyumba. I'm like, unataka kuniambia kutoka nianze kutafuta earphones. Nilikuwa na intention ya kupangua nyumba. Ndio sasa akili zikarudi akasema, ungerudisha kofia tungekuwa na hii conversation. Sasa wacha basi nirudishe tulia. Yaani karudisha la story kaisha.
Hivyo tu. You guys you're a diffuser. Unajua kudifuse
kabisa. Usipo diffuse tutawacha nyumba moto.
Sasa imagine wewe ukianza kuleta zako, tangu nikuoe kwani
ndio mwenye mimi ndo liberate my friend. Liberate huko ni kwangu. But that is a real nugget to marriage. Patience. Serious. And then we understand ya kwamba we married couples, we need to understand that we are here to stay. You see, in this marriage ambayo tulijiingiza tukasema yes I do, we are here to stay. Hakuna place unaenda. So solvini tu mapema hiyo story. Hakuna place mnaenda. Hapa mlijibind until death will do you part. Si divorce, si separation, si kupumzika niende kwa madhe wiki mbili. Hapa ulijipeana mzima. So just hata mbele mimi hivyo ndo wanasema, okay nimejam, nimefura. Naenda wapi? Hakuna place naenda. So wacha tu akisema ni pole ama tukikaa chini tuongee, ni relax. Huku ni kwangu. Hakuna place nyingine nitaita kwangu, ni hapa. So hiyo inasaidia sana. Patience na kujua ya kwamba hakuna place unaenda. Uko hapo kustay na the earlier the better, solve it. Usikilog in vitu. Hapo ndio busting inatokeanga. Juu pipes zimefungana. Ile siku itapata kapampi ifanye hivi. Ile uchafu itatoka hapo. Nyumba zinawaka moto. So usikilog in. Huyu mtu ulimpenda. Ndio kuna a certain message niliwahi pata ya pictorial inasema ya kwamba when I saw you I loved you, and when I knew that you had weaknesses I loved you more. Sasa hiyo kitu mara mingi huwa ina ring in my mind that nilipomuona nilimpenda. Hiyo time sikujua weaknesses zake ni. But the moment we got into marriage and tukaanza kujuana, nikajua kuna weaknesses, nimpende zaidi na hizo weaknesses. So vile tu ulimpenda, solve out issues. Msiachana mnaenda. Hatuendi pahali by the way. We're going anywhere. So tutasolve. Hiyo usiku tunasema tulale to solve, tukae hapo. Kwa ndio kwetu.
Okay. Hakuna mahali mtu anaenda.
And also to add on that, my marriage or our marriage for that matter, we are not trying whether it will work. It was ordained divinely before the foundations of the earth. So anytime tunakuwa na issue yenye zinachangianga ndoa kukatika, I'm like, sio hii. This one was divinely orchestrated. This marriage did not came into being the day we said I do. No, it was in existence in God's mind. So hakuna kitu itatutenganisha. Not unless Mungu change nini blueprint yake. But as long as blueprint ni ile manifest hapa. So me, I always have that in mind that hata tukikosana aje, at the end of the day, what is the will of God concerning us? It is for us to stay together and happy. So look for that happiness. Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's profound. That's some real profound depth. Karibu nishindwe kutoka hapo. Allow me to just switch from there. Okay. Lest I delve too much on that. But I would ask Makau.
Yes.
How do you still, address the Kagali in her? truth of the matter is, as much as she's a mom now, she'll tell us about her son or your son. But sorry, son.
It's all right.
But how do you make sure that you address the girl in her?
Well,
If you still do?
I do actually.
Okay.
Sometimes, kama vile nilisema earlier, naweza fika kwa hao, hajatoka job. And I'm like, msichana si ameboekea sana huko peke yake kwa hii baridi. So nitakuja tu, nitatoka job, niende ni change, ni mwende job. Tuende tukae na hapo, tuchape story, anitume, niletee ile file, niletee hiyo stapler. Namletea tu, because namkeep company. And then tukimaliza, kuna place fulani wanapika sausages and stuff. Tupitia hapo tu buy sausage, ni buy sausage na cookies, tuende kwa hao. And she's like, hey babe, asante. Nani sausage ya 20 bob.
See, the
Na
small
cookies
things.
ya 5 bob. And she will be very happy. Sometimes, anaweza kuwa yeye ametoka job mapema. Mimi nimetoka late kidogo. So nitapitia kwa mzee wa choma cause najua anapenda mahindi choma. Nichukue mahindi choma, ni brushie na pilipili. And once I present the maize, ni kama umeleta chocolate ya Cadbury lori mzima.
It works.
Yes. Atafurahi. Ai.
The simple meaning.
The simple things. She'll be very, very
Sani
happy.
kale too. Okay. And for you, Alice, do you address the young man in this gap? Because truth be said, us, it's the small things of twakuonyesha mapenzi. These guys are sight beings, or you know. So how do you address the young man in him? Wachana na husband. Just that young man. How do you do it?
This young man. Unacheki kwanza vile amenyoa.
Okay.
I really love. Nakwambia two things yani nilivutianga kwa huyu jamaa. Ni hiyo nywele vile alikuwa amenyoa na marashi. Hiyo marashi yake I always want to make sure ako nayo. Ana akikadunga tu hivi. I feel poa sana. Alafu vile amenyoa napenda hivyo. So I always make sure that mara mingi na remind.
Umekaa hujanyoa, enda kwa baba.
Umekaa hujanyoa. Yeah, and just to always appreciate him.
Yeah.
Appreciate him as a man. Mwambie kum handsome.
Ish.
Kabisa. Ay. So anabambika, hata mimi pia nabambika. And then pia grade yake sitakangi kushukisha. Cause yeye ni ule msee. Mimi ni msee tush. Mimi sinanga shida na mtumba, by the way. Hiyo kwanza ndo fashion yangu ina kill.
Okay.
Hizi nguo mpya azinikam sana. But for him, mimi ndo nilikuja kuintroduce mtumba kwa life yake. So mara mingi wanajirestrain. Unajua kiatu ya 5,000. Na mimi kiatu ya 5,000 ni viatu ngapi zangu? Nikikupeleka base. Unaona, but I always make sure that nisimpeleke level ya chini. Yeah.
Na vile najaribu kumleta hapa juu.
Anajaribu kuninua juu kidogo. Sasa hata nimeingia sasa wacha working. Si kununua na nunua tiza nini? Sasa nilianza busy ya tush sasa. Yes.
I think wachana naye.
Mimi wachana tu na mimi.
Siwezi.
Kando na as being police officers, mimi nafanya mtumba. Tunafanya chicken, tuko na chicken project.
Okay.
Na pia ama farmer. So tuko diverse.
Okay.
Hatujakaa tu ati sasa ni hiyo salary. Hapana. Nafikiria kitu kingine. So hiyo tush inashika sana.
Me, I'm going back. I'm so going back to this. They once said you can take the monkey out of the forest. The forest in the monkey is stuck. Huyu. Yeye ndio yuko. Acha tu.
Even if they say you can take the monkey out of the forest, but the forest is stuck in the monkey, I will enter the monkey and deforest.
You'll deforest. You'll deforest in the monkey.
Nitamaliza miti mustudi. Tuone nyani ataruka wapi.
But she looks like she's come up. There's nothing ushamba about you.
Really?
There's nothing ushamba about you. So it's working.
Amefanya kazi mingi.
It's working out. Tell me about your boy. How old is he? What's his name? What's the story towards him being born and all that?
Wow. He really has a wonderful story. Actually, alifikisha 21st of July.
Okay.
So bado tujafikisha 1 and 1 month. So the story behind this baby is a really strong story. So remember we fought culture when we were getting married.
Oh, okay.
We still fought the words of the dead. In Kikuyu they call them gomi.
Okay.
Gomi is the dead. Shugoshia gomi, what the dead said. You see, they had once said, no marriage beyond a Kikuyu, a Meru, or an Embu.
All right.
The 3 stone, as they call it. So, truth be told, I tried the relationship. I tried with a Marian, it didn't work. Tried with a Kikuyu, didn't work. I never waited to do with an Embu. So that is waste of time. So that is when he came along. And presenting it, it really brought a lot of hiccups. A lot of hiccups, especially between me and my brother. That, hapana wezi, madhe alisemaje, father alisemaje. So, tukavunja hiyo. But now the fear was, why walikuwa nakatai maneno yote was, kuna kuangana consequences when you go against tradition and culture. You see. Okay. So my brother was really fearing that he will accept the bride price or giving me out in marriage, and then consequences zinifuate ama zimfuate. But you see, for us, we were born again. By the way, you see this issue of alcohol, and let me address it. We never bow down to alcohol during rurashio.
Okay.
Kununuliwa na pombe. We never did that because we are born again. I'm getting married to a born again family. And we told them, my friend, we are redeemed by the blood of Jesus. And it is true. And it works when you believe in it. Don't just say, I'm redeemed by the blood of Jesus, yet you're 50-50. Consequences itakuhit. But ukikuwa moto, you be hot. And don't allow yourself to be cold. So kuna hiyo. Now, the thing is, I'm pregnant, na kuna sasa pali ambapo the culture is waiting to manifest itself by either losing the pregnancy or losing the baby or something of the sort, because so such are the consequences that come when you don't obey culture. You see?
Okay.
So our pregnancy was sustained with prayers, serious prayers. I never had complications during pregnancy or anything of the sort, but our friends will pray for me, and one will tell me, Alice, keep praying. I dreamt that umeluzu mtoi, umetoka hosi, and I would pray. I remember one day I was watching a certain movie and a baby died in that movie. I cried the whole night until I called my husband, come, I'm not feeling well. He found me crying and I was feeling like the loss is myself. So we really prayed. And now, nikawa nimepitisha my EDD na 1 week. Najua ile wanasema baby boys, because I scanned it was a boy. Boys wana taking like mpaka 2 weeks and such. So after 1 week tukasema no, hatutaendelea kungoja. Wacha tuende hosi. Kwenda nilikuwa nimeanza kuumwa na tumbo. Kwenda hosi sijafunguka. Walipo niangalia EDD wakaona yenyewe kama dates zako ziko sawa, umepitisha na wiki moja. Now what we'll do is we'll admit you. We'll admit you and induce you. So me, I was induced, leave alone once, I was induced 4 times. And I'm telling you the truth, I never felt a single pain.
Huh?
I don't know what labor pain means. 4 times means juu chungu ni nini. So now the serious point came when a girl who was brought over, mimi nimelala hosi, nimeamkia hosi bado, sisikii uchungu, sifunguki, not even a degree. This girl came and akawa amefunguka 4 centimeters. Akadungwa induction, akakuwa induced. Mbio, afunguka kufunguka. Kidogo hata amepelekwa labor. Mimi niko hapo. I cried. And remember, I was, during that time I'm admitted, nindimi, I was twangaring ndimi na twanga tongues. Niki command scriptures. You know your way out. Hey, I'll deliver like a Hebrew woman. My friend. But now what? Nikapanda huko juu, nikalia. I was so frustrated with God, like God, huwezi kuwa serious. Huyu dem amekuja akanipata hapa. Sasa ndio anaenda kudeliver. Mimi niko hapa aje. So I cried, and some of the support staff walikuwa huko, wakaona a patient analia, they called a nurse. wakamwambia one of your patients ako hapa room kulia na lia kama tetwa. So they started asking me, Alice, ni nini? Nikamwambia mimi nataka kuzaa. Me, I want my baby. I want to give birth right now. Hiyo tu ndio nafanya ulie. Nataka mtoto. So wakaniambia don't worry. Na pia you don't have to deliver no more. Deliver too. You don't have to deliver no more. Nikamwambia nikideliver na CS, mimi ni askari. Nimedeliver na CS. Nitafanyaje trainings? Nataka promotion. Nitaendaje promotional course na niko na CS. Akaniambia no. Unaona most of us women vile tunabeba wengine, tunawasaidia. Most of us are from CS. And we are okay. We are doing house chores kama kawaida. Tulirudi normal. Kambia pana, mimi siwendi na CS. Mimi Mungu wangu lazima nipee mtoto na njia yenye mtoto anafaa kupita.
Sawa.
So out of those stress, nilipopimwa BP nikapatikana BP imepanda. Na pia heart rate ya mtoi inaenda fluctuate. Anacheza sana na Sidoka akaitwa. Akaambiwa kuja usikize vile tunasikiza kama ni kweli. Ukuja kusikiza kweli ni mtoto heart rate yake anacheza na kuwa faint na kuwa juu. They told me, Alice, you'll either sign in for a CS or we are giving you a referral to the general hospital. Mimi general hospital, public servant na niko na NHIF. Siwezi enda general hospital. So wakaniambia no, outa destroy the reputation of this facility that tuliachilia mpaka mtoto akakufa. So chagua moja. We called our reverend and akatuambia you people don't delay. The doctors know better. Ukisikia nawaambia hivyo. So tukasign in. Ishingo upande still tukulia machozi ya last born ni mingi sana. So tukasign in na nikapelekwa. Me I prayed because I remember my marital mom alipitia CS. So alikuwa anataja vitu kama catheter, anataja epidural. So alikuwa sema hizo ndio vitu stress kabisa. So me remember I didn't even have time to pray long. Kama Mungu kumbuka hiyo catheter haki. Inakuanga na uchungu nikisikia. Na ukumbuka epidural. I'm telling you, I had grace. I didn't feel any pain. Actually me I was not sikudungwa kwanza ndo niwekwe catheter. Niliwekwa catheter nikiwa sober.
Okay.
Na sikufeel. So nikakuja kwa epidural pia. And God is great that mimi niliona vile mtoi anatolewa na vile mtu anashonwa. Because those cameras zinaniface hizo lights kubwa. So kwa hiyo that silver thing I would watch everything that was going on. So now when wanapotoa mtoi wanasema mtoi amefungwa na nini na cord kwa shingo. Kai. And then mtoto wangu alipotoka it was a baby boy. Kai, katoto katamu. Hata nilisahau story ya CS. Kamaliziwa my husband akapewa mtoi kupanda juu. So he was telling me that you know what? Actually the baby had a cord round. And that is when I came to understand that God never allowed me to go through labor pains na nifunguke. Juu ningefunguka na nipush, ningepata mtoi amekufa. And that is when we said our baby will be called Mihali, who is like God. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is like God. Yeah, so up to date, we really thank God. Hatujajua kusumbuliwa na mtoi ni nini. Hatujajua joto ya mtoi ni nini. Actually, kwanza kwa hizi immunization, the vaccinations. Actually, the day ambaye ana-immuniziwa, ndiye alikuwa analala the most. Ile kukimbizwa na serious. And we really give God all the glory. God fought. Tulikuwa tunaambia Mungu, usiwahi wacha traditions ijitukuze na sisi. Iseme ya kwamba na tukue mfano. Unajua nasemanga na hii kwe funzo kwenu na wengine wenye tabia kama yenu. Nasemanga ya kwamba ukawahi kosa kusikiza tradition tena. Unaona gani ile yapenda kinalis itakufuata. Tunaambia never allow the devil to have the last laugh with us. So we thank God. We are really going on well. Tumejua kutembea, meno inatoka, and hatuwezi sema major issues.
Yeah, also to add on the same.
Yes, exactly.
Our baby was born 21st of July last year. And our parents, my dad and mom, rested last year but 20th July. So like walipitana na siku moja hivi. So ndio maana tukasema badala ile siku tukifanya memorial service tuna mourn our late parents, we shall be having a birthday.
Who is like God?
Who is like
He
God?
knows how to wipe your tears.
Yes.
Yani that very time when we are supposed to be crying. Her birthday ndio yako. Nikulie utalia ama ni keki utakula?
Ni keki, tukule keki. Tukule keki.
Surely, who is like God?
Wow.
Yes.
His other name?
Kiv.
Kiv.
Kiv means gift of God. And Kiv Mihali.
Okay,
Yes.
that's beautiful. Wow. Sawa, mi nimeshiva yangu hapa hivi. I'm like, what? And you, if you'd have given birth as a mother, I know if you had gone through the whole normal delivery. Sawa tu. Hiyo ingekuwa tu story ingine. And maybe we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that you didn't feel labor.
No, I don't know labor, by the way.
Mrs. Kiwi pie. How does Kiwi
After 4 inductions, ile serious.
ndio alisema. Someone said, let me quote something. Someone said that this labor pain is a curse on Eve. It's that thing in Genesis chapter 3.
You have pain when you give birth.
When you give birth. So these redeemed women,
Yes.
it's not our portion.
It's
No.
not our portion.
Nilisahau hiyo mimi basi. Nilisahau. Next time I'll remember.
Yes.
All right. Hey, you guys, I'm encouraged. I'm
Amen.
encouraged by
Amen.
that. That's a testimony by itself. Even him not having those fevers.
Yes.
They look like the most common thing.
Actually, to cut you short
It's
story.
alright, Isaac.
Kuna hizi story mnaambiagwa sasa juu mumepata mtoto musahau kulala usiku.
Eh.
You see those things? Hizo fevers.
Colic.
Mukue na
Colic.
Exactly. Alafu mukue, make sure you have a standby driver in case the baby gets sick at night.
Yes.
Sisi hatujui. Actually mtoto wetu kukanyanga hospitali ni immunization.
We thank God.
Sleeping at night, analala kama mtu mzima. Analala kabisa. He sleeps peacefully. Because at times it matters what you confess and what you agree with and what you believe. Because tulikuwa tunaambiwa hizo vitu. Tukirudi pekee tunasema not us. Our baby shall sleep at night. We declare our baby shall sleep at night. We declare our baby will not have fevers. Hatutasafiri kwa hospitali, tutakuwa sisi tunapeleka wagonjwa wengine hospitali, tunaenda kuwaombea huko, lakini sio sisi.
Sio nyinyi.
Sisi.
Wow.
By the way, it is all about when you're pregnant as a mother, start declaring at that time. Ombea huyo mtoto, si akikuja, akiwa kwa tumbo, and if possible, kabla hata uconceive. Dictate what you want to conceive. Dictate, nenea mtoto. When you come to this world, actually, our baby has never brought a drift for us in the ministry. Because the Lord helped us and gave us a very wonderful house manager. She's so wonderful and so loving. And our child, she's also loving. He's also loving. He loves everybody. I always sometimes forget I have a baby.
Yeah.
When he's with anyone, he is okay. So hatukuwahi toka kwa ministry like a mother me that now I have. Akikuwa na mtoto amekula, ameshiba, nyinyi fanyeni huduma. Right now, I don't know even where he is. He's okay. We thank God for that. We really thank God. When the thing of purpose, when you have a purpose that you're following through, God will always provide. That is what the book of 1 Peter says. That he has given us everything that pertains to godliness, to life and godliness. So whatever pertains to us in the ministry, God gave it to us. A child who will not remove us from the ministry or in serving God. We thank God so much.
Wow. What a testimony.
Yeah.
I'm encouraged.
Amen.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Amen.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yani mimi niko tu that is so real. That
Glory
is so
to
deep.
God.
Wow.
That is so deep. Okay, allow me to ask about life now in marriage. That's Kiv, and we thank God for him.
Amen.
Now this marriage now between you guys, many issues come up, and we are told, you were already told about ngomi and such things. I'm sure there are other myths that you were told, maybe about finances. Oh, mwanamke anafaa kuwa na tupesa twake. Oh, hawa wanaume si unajua. Oh, hawa wanaume. There are so many myths. I can't even name 5. There are too many that we are told about marriage. Now allow me to ask you about finances in marriage. How do you guys handle that for them not to be a rift, because
Yeah.
those ones can just yeah. How do you do it? If you would share.
Yeah. Allow me to share, because sisi ladies
Eh,
tunasemanga pesa yangu
pesa twetu
Ni yangu.
ni yangu, pesa yako
ni yetu.
yeah, we really thank God first and foremost. We went through marriage counseling, and we thank God for the best marital parents ever. They taught us. We went through serious class,
Kwa course.
almost 1 year, mkifunzwa marriage. Yes, serious class. And one thing we were taught is about finances. That when you get married, it is not my money, it is our money. And I want to confess before you, actually even my ATM, he has it.
Okay.
And I feel nothing about that. Yangu ni budget. Hii nyumba tunataka 1, 2, 3. Ndio hii budget. And he does the math. Me, I have no problem with that. And you see, even the money I get from my own mutumba comes to supplement. Like maybe salo imekatika. The reason why tuliingia in these other businesses and all that, because when you depend on a monthly salary, let me tell you the truth, your life stops pali hiyo pesa inaishia.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up from there.
Yeah.
Pali salo hiyo ingine itakam. Very dangerous. Because you'll never progress.
Sure.
Because itakuwa pali inaishia ndo inafika mwisho. And then mnapike kama imekatikia June 15. Ngojea ikifika mwanzie from June 15 kuendelea. Yeah. Either you by repaying the debts you are taken and all that. So with even the business, the mtumba, the kuku, all that, still I bring it back home. We have earned this much. What are we going to do with this one? What are we going to pay with this one? What? And it is simple. It is so easy. That is what we call oneness. It is what we call oneness. It is our money. And you know what? Kuna one thing tuliambiwa ya kwamba wakati a lady anajua the whole money that you earn, hata wahi kukuitisha extra, ndo anajua imeisha. Tulikuwa na 50,000 na tumetumia hiyo 50,000 imekwisha. But you see, when mkianza kukuwa na pesa za kila mtu pesa yake na pesa za siri, hamtawahi trustiana kwa hiyo ndoa. Ndio mtakuwa na overestimation, expectations zinaenda juu, kwa sababu wacha nikwambie my dear, we have like 30,000 in the house. Tumebudgetia 25, imebaki kama 5. Then mimi niko hapo, I need something ya 10,000. Tell me, am I not stressing this man?
You will stress him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But ikikuwa finances si open, akiniambia hana doa, nitakuwa like, mwanaume mgani hana pesa? You see? Ai, mwanaume namba ngapi? You see, mwanaume namba ngapi inaingilianga hapo? Mwanaume namba ngapi hana pesa? But mngekuwa open na pesa zenu, hata needs zako utajua kujilimit hapo. Sure. Utajua okay, nataka wig ya 10k ama whatever, dress or anything. But saizi tuko na 5. Sini save 5. The next month tukibakisha another 5, tukate hapo niingize itakuwa imejaa. So openness in finances helps to deal with conflict in marriage.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So I would urge all the couples, let's be open with each other. Wacha tuweke kwanza sisi watu wa payslip. Tuweke payslips zetu hapo. Tubudgetie payslips zetu. Ndio any other need that comes, tunaweza kuihandle within our range. Whereby loans watu wanachukua kusatisfy mtu ni juu sasa you are not open. Na sasa kwa sababu anasukuma kabisa, we ladies tunajua vile tunasukumanga when you want something. This man inabidi achukue loan ya kutosheleze. Na sasa hiyo ni deni inaingia kwa boma.
Wow, Isaac, what do you have to add on that?
Well,
That's deep.
these are wise women. I thank God I married a wise woman. Hata mimi hapo ndio nilitoa wisdom kidogo. Matters concerning finances, first and foremost, we tithe.
Yes.
And it is non-negotiable. Kunaweza kuwa hakuna chakula kwa hiyo nyumba na tithe peke yake ndio imebaki.
From gross.
Haitaguzwa. We shall sleep hungry, but the tithe remains. Actually, what we did, due to our budgets, tunawekanga kila kitu kwa bahasha. So kama ni rent, iko na bahasha ya rent, tithe iko na bahasha yake, offering iko na bahasha yake and stuff, and everything else, shopping. So bahasha ya tithe kama peke yake ndio imebakia iko na do, tunajua hiyo nyumba haina pesa, ile iko si yetu. And once we tithe, we don't tithe from the net salary. We tithe from the gross. Kabla serikali toe kodi, sisi tumetolea hapo.
Okay.
Yes. We tithe from the gross. And by the grace of God, we don't know what debt is. Akunanga mshwari, mkopa, mtala, whatever. We don't know those things. We don't. Nakumbuka mimi kidogo nilikuwa nimeshikwa na hako ka mshwari. Si unajua tu mtu wa tantrums. Hapo sasa, hapo ndio tantrums zilifanya kazi positive.
Positive. Ulingolewa huko.
Na since then, so been almost a year plus. Hakuna deni. Because once you, unajua, people don't understand the myth behind the tithe. The tithe is honoring God with the 10th. Si tunapeleka kanisa pastor kule, don't mind what the pastor will do with the money. Pastor is a representation of God, because God mwenyewe hata kuja kuambia haya basi lete kama uamini pastor. So yeye ndiye anamrepresent. If the pastor is not faithful with it, hiyo ni yake na Mungu. Watadiliana huko, wewe hauko kwa hiyo hesabu. But because of our carnality, tunaona pastor anasema hapana, huyu jamaa atanaona na mimi hapa. Na hii pesa inaweza nisaidia.
Kuna jet.
Yes. Wacha anunue private jet. Maybe ndio italeta injili kwenye watu waokoke. Maybe kupitia hiyo tithe yenye ulitoa, your great grandmother ile kasa aliwachilia itavunjikia hapo. But people don't know. So for us, we don't negotiate about the tithe. And everything else about our money is very easy. Actually, money is not a mountain for us. We don't negotiate about money. We don't have problems. As far as money is concerned, hakuna conversation. Ni babe, nataka pesa ya kitu fulani. Sawa, nitakutafutia.
Okay.
Story imeisha. Na si feel like ananieka pressure. Because I'm not the provider. God is my provider. I never allow her to ask God, "Woi Mungu, tutatoa chakula wapi?" I am the provider. Sasa yeye akiniambia tuna food, mimi naenda kwa Mungu. Si nilikupatia 10%. Na wewe ndio anaitwa El Shaddai, more than enough. Mimi ni breasted one. Ebu one of the breasts, fanya kitu. Anakusort mbio hizi taka ku lose integrity. Yes.
There's this Facebook chat that goes point to go home,
Yes.
Wow.
All right, sawa. We are coming to the end, and I'm enjoying this. Imefika place I'm thinking, mnaenda church wapi tukuje? This is wonderful. This is, by them mnaenda church wapi? Inaitwa?
We go to Redeemed Gospel Church, Keno, here in Keno Town. And Reverend John Gadhuma, a very wonderful father in the faith. Huyo mtumishi wa Mungu, ile imani yako naye, milima inangokanga peke yake najipeleka kwa bahari.
You can testify from his sons.
Yes, sasa kama sisi ndio product. Unaonaje sasa baba yetu wa kiroho?
Nitatembea huko. I can't wait to see him play and you sing. Hapo mlisema, I'm like, manze, some of us love music. Mimi napenda wimbo. So hearing that he can play and you sing, that's already something quite beautiful that I would want to really hear. And I hope we'll get the chance. Mtatuchezea kakitu somewhere tu leo kabla hii siku ishe.
Tutajaribu, tuwezi kosa namna.
Thank you. Hi. So before we end, I would like to ask, time imepotea. I have so many things to ask, but I will ask, I'll start with Isaac and ask you to speak to young couples out here that are honestly handling us. Maybe me last born. So naelewa history ya anger issues and patients kanatushana hivi. What do you have to tell couples or husbands concerning the same?
Husbands,
that's your camera.
That's my camera. Yes. Husbands, build your capacity for marriage.
Okay.
Make sure that you have the idea of what God intended you to become and pursue that. She will help you. But if you're there for what is in store for me, utapata tabu. Utaona shida mingi na utafaulu. But once you purpose to make it work, by all means, it will definitely work. Thank you.
Wow. All right. And Alice, you tell us about if you have a word, you don't have to, but in case you have a word for ladies who are married to police officers, there must be something you can tell them from the depth of what you have already gathered now. There's your camera.
Thank you. I would address it in two perspectives. The first perspective is you are a civilian and you're married to a police officer. When you're a civilian and married to a police officer, you're married to a person with a calling. Being in the service, it is a calling. Serve that husband. Ignore what people say about police officers. God did not create you a police officer. He created you a husband. Treat him as a husband. Men in service, they are the greatest men that you can ever have. To the ladies who are married, who is a police officer, married to a fellow police officer. That one is the easiest of all because you understand each other. Both of you know the line of duty. You know that iko patrols za usiku, iko a lot of other duties in your line, and we expect that we live very amicably, and you live very amicably, having that you are from the same field. Let respect be there. As a lady, respect your husband. You might be an inspector and he's still a constable. Remember, he is the head of that house. Submit to him. And when you submit to God, every other thing comes out well. Every other thing flows. Marriage works. For police officers, for doctors, for anyone in any profession, marriage works. That is what we've come to say. And it's not just us. Many other people, it is working for them. It can also work for you. Make sure it works. If it doesn't work, let it work. By whatever means, it just must work. Tell the marriage you have no otherwise, but you have to work. Yeah.
Awesome. And that does bring us to the end of this very beautiful, inspiring episode. Wow. I'm encouraged, I'm inspired. You've really helped me. One, I've made 2 friends. Sana najua polisi wawili, nyinyi mnajua ngapi? 2 more in the ones I know. And you brought out a very beautiful, picture in my mind about officers. That actually, whether Kenya Police, sasa kwanza wewe di mtumishi wa Mungu. Ile kabisa yako inakuja tu. This guy is chill, but wewe hata unatuhubiria. So you have brought out that aspect about officers still loving, fearing God.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And thank you for that. Nashukuru sana for that. Nashukuru sana on behalf of myself and the viewers. Thank you. Thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for serving us. Vichwangumu sisi. But still, you guys are there. You know, niutumishi kwa wote still. It still works.
Na uaminifu na haki.
Na uaminifu na haki. It's not, I can't even imagine what it's like being an officer. Hapa nje sisi pia ni vichwangumu. So, you guys, thank you. Thank you. And guys, that is the end of our episode. I'm very, very encouraged myself, and I'm also very challenged to just change my perspective. Have a talk with 1, 2, 3 officers out there and find out that they're not just officers. These guys are real. They're living. They're doing life. They're believing God. And you've heard from them. They have a miracle baby called Mihali. Wow, what a name. What a testimony. So it's okay. Talk to people, get to know them before you conclude about them. And you never know, you could make a wonderful friend. You could make a covenant friend. These guys met, they fell in love, they wed, they're still married, they're making it work, and their marriage is working. Why? They gave it a chance. So kwaheri. And just in case you have not subscribed to our channel, we are Jicho TV Kenya. This is the Marriage Corner Show with me, Vionah Githinji. Kwaheri.